your two dads show. Ooh, JJ and Deacon, they're the ones in the know. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way. Inspire with us, tomorrow's news today. Tomorrow, yeah.
News like Joe Biden is using the correspondent dinner to make jokes about Donald Trump's trumped-up charges. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's the start of a brand new week. It's Monday morning. I'm JJ. That's Deacon, and we meet here Monday through Friday to drink coffee and talk about the news and talk shit about people. It's hilarious. It's great fun. You're going to love it. It's the best way to start
Potty
your day.
mouth. That's a quarter. You already cussed. We haven't even been on 30 seconds.
I'm not even sure that the YouTube stream has activated the other end, and I've already
a quarter.
Well,
Put a quarter in the bucket. Good morning,
right,
sir.
Folks. Good morning, dude. I was so sick last week. I had no idea.
Really?
It's like, yeah, we
You
did
said
that
you
show
didn't feel good
Friday.
a couple of days.
Yeah, I was like, I don't feel so good. I'm thinking about maybe staying home, but I don't know. The way that I am, I probably just like push through it and try to go to work.
Go to work anyway. That's like me. Yes, I completely understand that. So I know one Friday when your wife after the show was trying to get
she was
me
like,
and Dave to convince you, and you did.
Yeah.
You took a day off,
Yeah,
but I
did.
could see in your face that you wanted to go to work.
To do. I got things to do. I was so sick. I'm pretty sure I had like a super crazy fever, and like it was one of these things where like do you ever get sick where like you're not like goozing or whatever, but like you get up to go do something and immediately all of your energy is just gone. It's just like your all of your stamina is burned out just by getting out of the chair.
No, I'm not vaccinated. I never feel that way.
Okay. All right.
Snap. Sorry.
The CDC says, I think the CDC says that we can now treat the COVID like the flu. That is not medical advice, by the way. I just read it over the weekend. I think on like BBC or Breitbart or something like that. Anyway.
Really,
all right, good morning.
Huh. Well, okay.
Yeah, anyway, I was sick, and then my daughter got sick, and she had almost 140-degree fever. And,
oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I don't give a shit about you getting sick. Is she okay?
Know, right? She's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
104 is getting up in the 103 is the scary.
Yeah, that's where I was like, if this goes up like one more degree, I'm taking her to the hospital.
No, 103 is like my, oh shit, we need to do something now.
So I'd give her some Tylenol, and I was monitoring her and like put her to bed early and everything. And about 4 a.m, she comes in the room. She says, "Dad, I feel better." And I was like, "You're going back to sleep. We're not getting up at 4 a.m."
She broke it. The body did what it was supposed to do.
That's right. That's right.
Nice.
So
I'm glad she's better. Was it Lily or Jill?
It was Lily. After she got real sick, I realized like, oh, maybe I almost died on Friday.
And you're worried about getting work done.
I know. Right. Anyway. Okay. That's it. That's enough of that humanizing anecdote for this human robot. All right, let's go. What do we got? What do you want to talk about? You want to tell a story? You had a story about the weekend.
Yeah, before we get into, it'll be a little bit before we get into the story. I wanted to tell you this story because it really enraged me. I made a Facebook post about it, and I talked about it on the radio this morning. And I'm not going to get as angry as I did in the Facebook post because it was fresh. But Sunday morning, we had one of the local baseball teams was in this little tournament or whatnot, and they made it to Sunday morning. So I was going to have to run the game at 10 o'clock. And so it was about 8 something. I get up early anyway, and I was outside. I was like, I'm just going to go to work early and fart around, get some stuff done and, whatnot. And so I left about 8 and I went and I got a cup of coffee at the gas station. And as I was getting into my car at the gas station, we heard a loud boom. And me and like 4 or 5 other guys that were in the parking lot that I could just like kind of see real quick. There was a bunch of cars, it was a busy gas station. And we looked in this minivan had hit this truck at this crossroads at the light. She ran the red light and boom, hit this truck. And the front of this van was just destroyed. You could see it from, I was 150 yards away and I could see that the thing was destroyed and the truck was way down there. So millisecond, this is how my brain works. Okay. I have several examples in my life of this, and that's why I'm really it happened again yesterday. As soon as I saw that, my brain starts, it goes a million miles a second anyway, and it's like, put your coffee down. I wonder if they're okay. They're okay. You need to check on them. Put your coffee down. Put it on the top of your car. No, don't put it on the top of your car. Open the car door. Put the thing in the car door. And I put the coffee in, and I took off running. Down a grassy hill, slid a little bit, just run across. And, the woman was okay. She got up and she's like, I just got some bruises. And I was like, ma'am, I don't know if you believe in God or not, but you need to thank him right now. And we kept me and this one other guy that stopped, and a woman that was behind. She just kind of stood back. Me and this one guy. The guy that was in the truck got out, and he was fine. He was like a park ranger or something, and he was fine. The woman, though, and me and the guy was trying to get her, please sit down. Please sit down over here. And she's like, I'm fine. I need to call.
She's in shock.
That's what yes. I was like, ma'am, you need to sit down. You are in shock. You might not be fine, because adrenaline is a fucked up drug.
Adrenaline is amazing.
You need to sit down
and just be like pumping, be like, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, you need to sit down. This other guy, he was older. He was, I don't know, I'll say older, but he was probably my age. He's probably younger than me. He was like, yes, ma'am, you need to sit down. And I was trying to do traffic and whatnot. And me and this other guy picked up the road and was getting all the crap off the road because there was stuff everywhere. And we were moving because it's the end of a parkway. And it's kind of a busy
she was
area.
The one that hit him. It was
her frame was.
Oh man,
her frame was that van was totaled, man. Because I was looking at it, I was like, that's why I told her. I said, ma'am, I don't know if you believe in God or not, but you need to thank him right now, because that's the reason.
Was there anybody else in the vehicle, or was it just
no,
her?
No, it was just her, just him. So the cops came, and I got back in my car, and as I walked up, I went back in the gas station, and I told the girl behind the counter, I told her what happened, because they're going to be asking, and the 2 or 3 people in line were standing there asking. And so I let her know what was going on, because they would want to know. And so I got back in my car, and as I was driving down the road, it hit me. Not one of those other men, not one of those other men came over there to help. Not one. These are big, burly, drive these freaking trucks that you got to have a mini trampoline to jump up in the damn thing.
Yeah.
It's got 79 freaking angel lights on the front of these trucks, and not one person went over there to help her. And that just hit me. I was mad, but it hurts my freaking heart, man.
Yeah.
People are I don't do crap like that to impress people or to get bone. That's
as a human needed help.
A human needed help.
Yeah.
Well, a buddy of mine said, we're just cut from the different end of the cloth, Andy. I was like, yeah, I was raised differently, I guess. I don't know. It just made me so mad. I talked to our buddy Joey, and Joey and his wife were talking to me about it. And they were like, yeah, in New York City, these people will get out their cameras and just film you. If you're choking, they just film you choke to death because they want to see you die so they can get points. And it's like, what kind of world do we live in?
This is all caused. I mean, a lot of this is caused by social media. Like, not the fact that, like, to do stuff on social media, we do stuff, but because we're so we've become a TV viewer of real life around us. You know what I mean? Like, you start to see everything around you as just some form of entertainment or something like that. And then on top of that, there's the added risk of anytime you step outside of your normal to like help somebody or stop somebody from doing something, you could end up getting beaten up, shot,
whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's not the first thing on my mind. The first thing on my mind is helping the person. The only other example of that I can remember, because that's not something that I'm like, ooh, I need to chalk that up into my long-term memory because I'm proud of myself. I don't look at that crap that way. But the only other one that I remember, because it happened a decade ago, was the very first time I met Ashley's parents. We were at a Civil War reenactment ceremony and whatnot, and there's hundreds of people lined up because we're watching the cannons. There's several cannons that are going to be fired off, and they're very loud if you've never heard an old school cannon fire off. And we're standing there, and the cannons fire. And let me preface this by saying I had an injury about a month before, and I never went to the hospital, but we were pretty sure I had a couple of cracked ribs. All right. Couple of cracked ribs in my chest from this injury. So I was trying to take it easy, and I could feel it. It still hurt, you know. As the cannons fired off, this woman that was standing not near us, but she was holding a little dog, and that little dog jumped out of her arms and took off running. And she was an older, heavy-set woman, and she was like, oh, and a lot of people turned around and looked. And I looked, and no one was running after this dog. She wasn't going to run, and that dog was. I took off running. No, I don't know what. It wasn't like a decision. It was like something else made me. Yeah. And I ran, and I caught up to that dog, and I Superman jumped. I did. I swear to God, I Superman jumped and got it and grabbed the thing and ended up giving it back to her. And then it got out of her hands again, and then we lost it and we couldn't find it. Yeah, of course. But after I did that, and the only reason I remember that is because my family still makes fun of me to this day for my Superman dog saving, trying to impress Ashley's dad. You know, I've heard it all. I try to say about 4 years. I'm going to end with this, and we can go to our story. About 4 or 5 years ago, I started saying, might have been 3. I started trying to say something on the air at least once every day. All right. And I'm going to end with this. I've already said it on the air this morning, but I'm going to say it here. I say it on my radio air, not on this show. Do something nice today for someone, and do not expect anything in return. Not a thank you, not a look, not a thumbs up, not a thought from that person. Don't expect anything. Do something nice to do something nice.
Yeah.
I try to say that every day on the radio. So I wanted to mention that because that irritated me. You know? It irritated the far out of me that nobody would help.
I mean, I can definitely see it happening, you know, like people, in fact, I've seen that kind of stuff before, you know, people like rubbernecking, drive by, you got no interest in lending a hand. Somebody else will get it. Somebody else called it in.
You want me to tell you, there are some people that I do hope see me do something like that. And that's my children.
Kids? Yeah. Inspire somebody. Okay. Hey, you know what, Deke? I like to start the day with a little ha-has and some funnies, some jokes. You know, let's get this mood light, you know?
Okay. All right.
So over the weekend, there was the White House Correspondents' Dinner where they get up and they tell jokes. And
that's cool.
Even the president's telling jokes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's a joke. I don't know. maybe it's a taunt of his political rival. How long does it take for him to go 7 feet to the podium? No joke. The first 20 seconds is him walking over here.
Age is the only thing we have in common.
Oh, is it?
My vice president
is it too low?
Actually endorses me.
He said my vice president actually endorses me.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Joker.
I had a great stretch since the State of the Union. But Donald has had a few tough days lately. You might call it stormy weather.
Oh.
Who's writing this shit?
That's a terrible joke.
That is terrible. You got to get
It
some
is
new writers.
So bad.
No, I mean,
That's
we
so
know
bad.
you can't deliver it, so we're going to have to make it a little fun. That's bad, though. Come on.
That is.
And first of all, let me point out, because last week we talked about liars and what liars do in your life and how you
Yeah.
can spot a liar. Another
Yeah.
thing that liars do is they like to point out the obvious and then make fun of it, like we said last week about what the other side is doing and we're not doing. And then they try to say that they stand for certain things. So continue the video.
Oh, okay.
State, making sure democracy endures, American democracy. To a free press, to an informed citizenry, to an America where freedom and democracy endure. God bless America.
Screw you. He just did he said 3 lies. He's
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hate
but
that
that-
old man.
But that joke, though, right? No? Okay.
AI could get us one better. AI won't do it because I will not do a political joke because blah blah blah. So whatever.
Oh, I got some interesting stuff. Let's see. Hey, let's do a follow-up on last week. We've been talking a little bit about rowdy students taking over college campuses, and ooh, I got like a little white hair. Look at that little white guy.
Well,
Hide.
I keep looking over there at me, and the way that my gray is coming in, it makes me look like if it comes in, I'm going to look like a cool, like evil scientist. If it comes in like in a V,
If you could keep it just right there, you'd be like the bad guy from that Batman movie.
You really can't see it. You really can't see it very well. But when I get out and you look at it, this camera, it's gray on both sides, but it's making like a little V in the middle, and that's what I keep looking at. It looks like it's sticking out all over the place. So I want to look like an evil scientist.
I'm trying to pull up the character from Batman Begins.
My goatee used to be really long.
Hold on.
And just the bottom goatee, it's called a Van Dyke. And I used to grow it really long and then spray hairspray in it and take the hair dryer and get it to stick out straight like a pharaoh. I swear to God, I used to wear it like that.
Here, this is gonna be you, Rizal
That's
Ghul.
awesome. I don't like the mustache that much. I
No?
usually, if I shave
Okay.
it all,
All
but
right.
I'm half Wookiee, half Bigfoot. So I grow hair.
Anyway, remember last week we were talking about college campuses getting encampments, and you got this encampment leader, and he casually threatened to like murder
Kill people.
on. Well, it turns
Casually
out Columbia
murder. It's okay though.
Columbia found. Hey, by the way, good morning, Do Good. Good morning, David. I see you guys.
Hey, if Do Good's here, I got a German story for Do Good.
Okay, we'll do that in just a second.
Okay.
So, Columbia University, in the wake of this young man, casually threatened. I think his name is Kamani James. In the wake of Kamani James taking charge of the student encampment and casually threatening, to murder Zionists because they don't deserve to live, et cetera, et cetera. Columbia discovered their moral indignation and righteousness, and not exclusively due to bad publicity, have banned Kamani James from the campus of Columbia University.
I bet he's going to sue for discrimination.
Yeah. Oh man, this is one of those sites where if you have ad blocker, it locks the whole thing up. Damn it.
Yeah.
Here. This is enough for us to get the point across. Here we go. Kamani leader, Columbia protest leader Kamani James banned from campus for saying Zionists don't deserve to live. Now, the interesting-ish thing about this, this video that we kind of saw some of last week, he's putting sparkly glitter on his lips and whatnot. This video was a live stream of him being basically interviewed by the campus for saying things, and then he said them on this live stream, and this live stream went out to Instagram, and this was months ago, and Columbia University didn't have the balls to do
Just
shit about
now.
it.
Yeah.
Yes only because he got caught out and made himself a big old public figure has he been banned from campus. That does not even necessarily mean that he's expelled from the school. He might just have to finish the semester, hybrid classes online or whatever.
Yeah.
What is it? He's a junior. What do you think the odds are that Columbia University is going to let him finish his degree and
The
collect his
odds are
money?
pretty good because this story will be, if pressure is kept on it from the media and whatnot, then they will get rid of him. But since the media is on their side anymore, the shift in that has changed in the past 20, 30 years. It not saying it wasn't there 20 and 30 years ago. It's just become more of a push, because they will bury the story. I hate to use this analogy. Our brains are like goldfish, because we always said goldfish can't remember. That everybody says, oh, their brain. That's not true. That's a freaking thing that we made up and everybody parroted it. And every now we all think it's facts that goldfish have a whatever memory. That's not
20
true.
seconds, right?
But we do. Okay, let me tell you, our attention span has gone down tremendously. And I have been a student of this for 30 years because I make commercials.
Yes.
I love making production more than I like being on the air. And I'm good at being on the air. I've won awards for being on the air, but I love doing production more, audio stuff more. And when I had a commercial, I would always tell the salesperson, tell your client, my job is to sell them. Their job is to sell whatever they're selling, but take my advice when I tell you certain crap doesn't work, because my job is to sell you. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. Come in and say you heard it on the radio for a 15% discount. That shit never works. Out of 5,000 people that hear that, 2 are going to come in and say it, and then you think, so it never works. So there's little things that don't. One of the things that I studied was attention span, because I had 30 and 60 seconds. And over the years, I had little things that I would do to keep your attention span. Do you remember in high school when you were sitting there and the teacher would be like, hey, that's to get your attention, to keep you. And so I did that. I did audio those in my commercials. I would put a big sound effect or change the music. It was to keep your attention, without you knowing that I'm doing that to keep your attention. Since YouTube has gone down to skipping a video for 5 seconds, the attention span is 5 seconds. I have 5 seconds to get your attention, to keep you in for this 30 seconds now. And I've tried to tell these other people, my other coworkers, you have 5 seconds to get their attention, and they don't believe me.
That's less than an elevator pitch, and people practice elevator pitches.
Watch. I pay attention to what is said in the 5 seconds of the commercials, because if you don't skip it, they'll keep going and you can listen to the commercial. But the first 5 seconds, that first sentence is very important. And I always, that's because it's my job to do stuff like that. So I'm interested in that kind of stuff, but not everybody picks up on that kind of stuff.
Well,
attention span is 5 seconds.
Is this about the Columbia finally ballsing up and banning the kid? Yeah.
Yeah, because this story is going to be gone, and no one is going to remember it again.
Hey, there's some other wild shit going on campuses that here. I got a couple of these unrelated to each other than, the current zeitgeist is cheer for Palestine, even though they're obviously terrorists running Palestine. That's Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization running Palestine. And anyway, I don't care about Palestine. I'm not for or against them or anything like this. Check this out. This right here is on
somebody
campus,
was assaulted.
University. This woman is a Jewish, whatever, and some pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas protester, but only because she is Jewish, She's over there with the counter protesters, and one of these protesters fighting for freedom of Palestine or whatever rolled up and clocked her on the back of the head and caused her to bleed from her skull, from her head.
Yeah.
These people are violent, unrestrained, and radicalized.
Did you
and
see
the campuses aren't doing jack shit to keep them in check?
Did you see the officer or the state trooper in one of those that was like had the guy handcuffed and he was leading him, and the guy was complaining and he fell down on the ground, flopped down on the ground like your 2-year-old
I
girls.
don't have that one handy, but yes, yeah, he just picked him up like a little child.
Used to do, and then he just like, you know what? You act like a child. You're going to act like a child. You're going to get treated like a child. I mean, seriously, we have been through this with our kids. That's why we're old and cynical and have this point of view that we do, because you're acting like children. When JJ and I were 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, half of our lives ago, we were idiots. We didn't know crap. I thought I was the smartest guy in the world because I had been in gifted classes my whole life, and I thought I was the smartest sumbitch ever walk around. And I was the dumbest kid on the face of the planet.
I mean, and look, and the Democrats, they want these people to vote. These people, and not only these people, they want even younger. They want them younger to vote. In your 40s, you look back at your 20s and you're like, geez, I was personally such a moron, so stupid, so ignorant, made such bad decisions. Now imagine.
I'm glad I made the decisions I made, because I wouldn't be the person that I am today if I didn't make all those decisions. So they're not bad decisions. They were choices that I made that had consequences that affected me differently than what I thought.
You learned from them, but in some of those cases, I'll speak for myself, not you, other people got hurt. Some choices I make caused other people to get hurt. So do I wish I hadn't made those choices, even though maybe I learned about it? Yeah, for sure. I wish
I completely see where you're coming from.
These people are doing stuff that's hurting people for real. Like for real.
I know, but I see where you're coming from, and I do see the empathetic side, because I'm a very empathetic person. You know me. I'm a freaking tree hugging, insect loving hippie. All right, I'm a very empathetic person, but I don't
see. I understand you have there is a thread there that you cannot excuse because where you are comes from where you were, and I understand that.
Right.
However,
that's what I was trying to get at. Like, if I personally did do something that hurt a group of people, very much. And
wouldn't you
at
prefer
the time,
if they weren't hurt?
No. They had to go. Now, I'm not God. Right. I'm not looking down and seeing the path of where everything goes. I'm just seeing a 2D. I'm in freaking doom, seeing it like this. I don't see the map. I don't see the map. God sees the map. Okay. So I have to look at it like I hurt those people and they were hurt at the time. But in turn, I have grown. They have grown.
Right.
Because of a decision that I made in my 30s, there are 5 beings alive on this decision that I considered a bad choice, that I wish I wouldn't have done it.
And that's it. And that's a real specific thing. But I mean, like in other contexts, okay, people are somebody out here protesting for Palestine or whatever got their hackles up.
Three people are alive. 3 people are
rolled
alive.
Up and clocked that girl in the back of the head, and she could have died. People
4.
You fall down and have your head hit on the concrete or a rock or whatever, and you can die. So look, there's like appreciating the positive outcomes of your bad choices. That's one thing, but
I completely understand where you're coming from. I completely understand. And from us as humans, we are just humans, and we have that empathy, and we have to say, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But I also have to think of it in the grand scheme of things. I am not smart enough to understand the overall plan. And
That's true.
I will go insane trying to
Well,
figure
look, I mean,
the
like,
overall
part of
plan.
it,
I just have to let things happen and enjoy the experience and go with the experience, because you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I hear you. You have to ride it a little bit because you don't have control. And it's good that you understand that you don't have control of reality.
It's not that I'm just a passive person that's like, okay, big thing. No. Something enrages me and I react, and something happens because of that. Well, there was a reason that happened, and I might not understand at the time, but 20 years later, I might understand why that happened. It took me a long time to realize that cheating on my ex-wife brought 4 living beings into this world. If I would not have cheated on my ex-wife, there would not be 4 people living right now.
I understand.
Wonderful children.
But part of that story is, look, we have other news to talk about. We don't have to talk about religion.
Not all my kids either. These are kids that have ended up
like
because
one
of
the things about, like, if you like ever study the Bible, Christianity, stuff like that, there's a lot of big ideas there, and some of them are like forgiveness for things you've done, but also there is this idea that God is magnificent in his ability to take the bad things that humans do and bring good things out of them, to redeem reality around our bad choices. And that's a different way to look at kind of what that's their circumstance, right? Which we go through tough things because we cause tough things, but because we have a God that loves us, he can accept us in our doing bad things and still bring good things out of it. And that's mind blowing if you really kind of like dive into that. Anyway, so what I'm talking about is these kids making bad choices and Democrats trying to exploit them for political power. Right.
It's been done for a long time. But It's just it was done to us. We're just now the first generation that has opened.
We were dumb too.
Yeah, we were dumb. It was done to us, and obviously we're just now the first generation to get pissed about it, because our parents weren't pissed about it. Our parents really didn't realize it because they were still. The internet has opened our eyes because it's allowed us to be able to talk to each other that our parents did not. We're the first generation to have the internet. Us, me and you. It was when we were like 16, 17. My buddy was 14.4 connection.
The cost of us acquiring information and adding it to our calculus of reality and how we interact with it, the cost of us getting information is so much lower than it was for my mom and my dad.
And I think that's why certain things have been accelerated so much in the past 30 years. We've seen so much happen in the past 30 years. That's why things have been accelerated. The squid monsters, like, oh my God, this hadn't happened for 4,000 years. I could control information. I had a really good one over here that was controlling information for the whole world. And now people are starting to be like, hey, I think those people are actually evil, So that's my conspiracy theory for you today, folks. Be sure and like and subscribe and join our Discord server above JJ's head.
This is getting a little wild. Okay, let's try to rein it back in. We're still talking about campuses and kids acting wild on campuses. How much of this do you think is a LARP? That's a word, right? Live action role play for these kids on these encampments, and they're like, let's join arms and we're gonna walk them out of our encampment, and all of this live action role play. That's what it is, and it is so real. Check this out. Let's see if this video plays. Oh my God, what have I done? How did I do this? Back to tab. Here we go. That's a police officer. Because a communist is walking around with a sword, drew a sword on a police officer, literally brought a knife to a gunfight. So,
a sword, bro. Pigs.
These dumb kids are gonna get wrecked.
Pulling out a gun is for the protection of who?
For him. Asshole had a sword. You think that thing doesn't work?
See, now you've got this guy that's assuming crap, screaming it out in the video. He's going to post it. 1,000 other village idiots from all over the freaking world are going to like and thumbs up that son of a bitch, all because of this moron out there just filming and yakking. I don't believe every Bigfoot video that comes through on TikTok, okay? I don't believe the giants on the mountains, but there's some of them that are very convincing. You know, you don't believe every moron stating stuff. Screw these kids. I'm done talking about these kids. I don't care anymore. I don't care. These are a bunch of dumbass kids, and they're going to be brainwashed just like everybody else, and there's nothing we can do about it except keep our kids informed about what's really going on.
Way back in 2019, the Supreme Court actually had a ruling about the distance between two people that constitutes an immediate threat for a person bearing a knife. You know, you can cross 21 feet faster than a cop can pull a gun and draw down on you most of the time. So, you know, a guy walking around with a sword and being within 15 feet of him. I mean, the police officer very well may be in totally legal grounds to draw the weapon.
But look, I hate to do this, but I am going to do this. That sword looked like a decorative sword.
Looks silly.
Okay. And as someone that knows those swords very well, those aren't sharp. It will cut. It could kill you. But there is that blade. The edges of that blade are not sharp. They're not even dull. They're rounded.
It's probably decorative, but you know what?
It is decorative.
That when somebody's got a sword,
you're exactly right. You're exactly right. I'm just stating obvious things that I know. It's decorative. It is a huge piece of metal. It's still tapered. It still could do a lot of damage and possibly cut. The tip could probably poke. But I've been around those swords a lot, and they're rounded on the ends. They're not sharp. They won't slice anything.
It looks like it's out of Conan or something like that. It's like it looks.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Just see I looked at the hilt, and the hilt is obviously a decorative hilt.
Yeah,
that's one of those $150 stick on the wall.
All right, let's go.
They had the Thundercat sword at the Kentucky Comic Con that I got a picture of. I was like, oh my god! And then they had the Sword of Power. From He-Man, and I was like, I asked the guy, I was like, can I pick that up? And he's like, no, we don't let anybody. I was wanting to pick it up and go.
Did not mean to bring that dude back up. I was trying to do this and close that thing because I'm afraid one of these things is
okay. I've got a story for you, JJ.
Well, I want to do one more. I want to do one. Okay. You mentioned a wreck. You talked about a wreck this morning. Yeah. And I posted this story from yesterday, and then Brian said this has been happening a lot.
Okay.
Get this. According to U.S. Navy officials, Sunday morning at 3:40 in the morning, a vehicle attempting to enter the expeditionary base Little Creek Fort Story in Norfolk, Virginia, ran the front gate, causing security forces to place the base on lockdown and raise a hydraulic access barriers, which the vehicle subsequently collided with and caught fire before exploding. The on-base fire service was activated. The fire was extinguished, but the driver was declared dead at the scene. The incident is currently being investigated by NCIS and other federal
What
agencies.
nationality was the driver?
Is Krispy Kreme right now, as far as they can tell.
I'd like to know what nationality he was.
I have no idea. No idea. I mean, it's currently being investigated. He burned. So who knows right now? What happened is somebody, maybe a crazy person doing a one-off thing, maybe one of the expected terrorist incidents, since we've had like 10 million people enter through the border, and
but Brian said that this is happening a lot. This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, right. Brian said in our Discord, I
wish we could get him on one day. He is so much more informed than I am.
I know, right? Well, we've had him on once or twice, and
every time he posts something, I'm like, "Oh, let me read that."
He says on our Discord channel over on right there. He tells me that this is the second time in 3 weeks in the Norfolk area that this has happened. That somebody has possibly, as a terrorist attack, attacked the base. And
let me tell you,
the truck blew up, dude. It ran into the thing and blew up.
Fort Campbell is just a hop, skip, and 2 jumps from me. And if that anything that happens on Fort Campbell base, I usually get the news story to read it in my news if I choose. And if that comes through, I'll let you know. If something like that comes through, I'll definitely hear about it.
NCIS Abby could probably pull the dental records.
I love that freaking show.
Thank you. Do good. Thank you.
It's a great show. All right.
All right.
I have a
Your
German.
turn.
I think I have a German story. Here, no, we'll do this one first because I had this one pulled up. JJ, I thought you would get a kick out of this one. Have you ever heard of Congresswoman Victoria Spratt? She is a U.S. representative, member of Congress. All right,
Yeah.
she's out of Virginia. Sparts. You're right. That's her. That's her right there. She looks a little bit like Amy. What's her name? Amy. She's
Fowler?
a comedian. No,
Amy
she's
Fowler.
she's a comedian. Amy.
Parks and Rec.
No. She wasn't on a guest. I can't remember her name right now. I'll remember it in a minute. But anyway, she's from Indiana. She's the first and only Ukrainian-born member of Congress, emerged early on as a natural advocate for supporting her native country in its war with Russia. But when the $61 billion in additional support for the war effort came up for a vote in the House recently, she voted against it. Instead, she called for better oversight. Let me highlight that. Better oversight of U.S. funds and opposed to giving blank checks to the Ukrainian cause. She says U.S. border security should be a bigger priority. This Ukrainian-born member of Congress. Look, I don't think that you understand how much weight those words have in this on April the 29th, 2024. A Ukrainian-born, now sitting U.S. member of Congress says that you're giving blank checks to Ukraine and you probably need to focus on securing the U.S. border. I don't need to repeat that, do I?
I mean, look, there's nobody that's going to convince me that this is anything but a money laundering operation. The only reason
Amy
Sedaris.
Amy Sedaris. Amy.
I don't know an Amy Sedaris.
Yeah, you know her. Hang on.
Do I?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me bring up this picture. Stop sharing this one, please, and stop sharing this one, please. I don't know how to switch it over cool like you.
There's
do.
a button in the browser. It says change to this tab.
Oh,
I don't recognize that broad.
Yeah, she's a comedian. She's been in all kinds of stuff. She's been in everything.
Like, it's super sexist to me, but I just don't think women are funny. I do. I know it's sexist.
Yeah, you're sexist. There's some hilarious women out there, dude. Just absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I generally don't think women.
Okay, you're gonna make people quit. All right, you what was the other? Oh, let me go to the where was my German story? Let me bring up my German story. I thought I posted it in there. Did I post it in news? It was about a new app that Germany has that you can take the app and
I didn't see
scan.
This.
Here it is. I found it. Okay. It's about an app in Germany that will tell you can use this app and it will tell you if it will tell you if the food has insects in it.
Wow.
And it will tell you, yes, this contains insect parts. That's what those fancy crap. Yep, insects. It's made with insects that have been used. There's parts of insects that are used as fillers or whatever. And it's not just, I mean, some of it probably, see, that's chocolate. So some of it probably is
cricket flour.
And yeah, and you eat that stuff. And honestly, I mean, the only reason we think it's gross and we're having a problem with it, me and Ashley were talking about this the other day, and she was like, I wouldn't eat that stuff. And I said, if you really think about it from the very baseline thought, okay, the foundation, the only reason we think eating crickets is gross is because someone told us it was gross and we've never done it. Because if we would have grow up in Southeast Asia, we'd be eating that crap all the time and wouldn't think it's gross at all. if we would have grown up over there,
Well,
right? The
you're
only
hungry
reason we
enough,
think it's
you'll eat
gross
trees. So-
is because somebody told you as a
just eat a
kid
bit
that that's
hungry.
gross. You know, I told her I was
Oh,
like
man,
the
I forgot
Inuit
about
children, the Inuit children up there. I always heard that the most delectable part of the seal, I know this is gross, but I didn't kill a seal, but when they kill seals to use them to eat them up there, the native peoples, that the eyeballs were like candy and they would give them to the children. The children would fight over the seal eyeballs. Is that gross to you, JJ?
Yes, that's gross.
I know.
I mean, look, I don't like to eat gross things, but on the other hand, I don't like to not eat. So, you know, if it comes down to like not eating or eating gross things, I'm gonna eat gross things, and just like you are.
Do you know how much? You know that the FDA, the Federal Food and Drug Administration, says that there is a certain percentage of insect parts that's completely fine to be in peanut butter
Yeah, I mean, like, you know,
because you can't
keep
get it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, you need those germs, guys. That's how you build an immune system. You got to fly in there right now, actually.
No, I don't.
Okay.
That's my damn peanut butter, man.
All right. Hey, so check this out. Larry Elder says Chick-fil-A price jumps 20% on wage rules. Wait, where's my? No, that's not it. That's
That's
wrong.
not it. That's wrong.
So I'm confused all the
I'm
time.
almost out of insect butter
Here we
too.
go. So we talked last week, I think, about California's raising the minimum wage to like $20 an hour or something like that. And like, what's going to happen? Prices are going to go up. Prices are immediately going to go up, and people are going to lose their jobs, and they're going to get less hours. That's what's going to happen. This month, California raised the minimum wage to $20 an hour. It had been $16. It's still one of the highest in any state in the country. So Chick-fil-A price, if you like a spicy Chick-fil-A sandwich in California, you're going to pay an extra 20% for that thing. And that's not all. Check this out, Deacon. Pizza Hut is laying off more than 1,200 delivery drivers in 2024.
Wow, I wonder why. Jeez.
It costs us money to deliver your pizza. Come get it yourself. We'll bake it. You come get it. That's what it is now.
I've got freaking Uber Eats and I've got DoorDash and all that crap.
Oh, you think you're not paying more for Uber Eats? You're paying even more.
Absolutely, you are. We make extra money on it sometimes.
Yeah. The Pizza Hut is reportedly planning to lay off 1,200 delivery drivers in several California counties following the new law to raise the state's minimum food wage. Oh, who could have predicted this? Who could have predicted this? It was me. I did it. I predicted it.
So,
it's
JJ, tell
obvious.
me what happens to the people in California and New York that complained and so much about wanting to make more money serving fast food, okay? And then they get more money serving fast food, which causes the food to go astronomically high for this for this fast food. It's crap, okay? And so I have a really good story about this.
Okay. All right.
This happened just 10 minutes before my accident story this morning.
Okay. All right.
I stopped by McDonald's. I haven't been by McDonald's in months and months and months, but they just come back out with their steak, egg, and cheese bagels. And I loved those things. They've got this little it's not horseradish, but it's like a relish mayo sauce that's on it. It's freaking fantastic. I used to eat 2 of them. They were $4.76 or something like that. Here is what I paid. And I thought $5 for one of these freaking sandwiches. That's freaking nuts, because I would go by and I could eat 2 of them. $10 for breakfast was nuts to me. I just think that's bonkers.
Crazy, isn't it?
For breakfast. Jesus Christ. You know, so, and I don't know where you live, but in Kentucky, it shouldn't be that freaking high. So anyway, I go into the McDonald's and I'm having a good day. There's an old man. I open the door for him. We had a nice little chat. I stand there very patient, come over. I just want a steak, egg, and cheese bagel, just the sandwich, not the meal. And she goes, that'll be $7.04 or whatever it was. And I went, I don't want the meal. I just want the sandwich. And she goes, that's just the sandwich. And I went, really? And she said, yeah. And I said, that was $4.70 something when y'all took them away. And she goes, it was a little 19-year-old girl. And there was another gentleman standing over here I could see. And he was, it was a little place. And I go, I just looked up at her and I went, no, she said, she was a little 19-year-old girl. And she goes, well, when things go up, when the cost of things go up, everything goes up. And I looked at her and I went, you know nothing about economics. And this is the last time I pay $7 for a steak, egg, and cheese bagel. And I handed her my $7 and whatnot. And she gave me the ticket and she started to say something back to me as I turned around. I am not one of those people that has to have the last word. If you need to mouth off to me so that you can feel better to have the last word, I'm completely fine with it. I don't have to have the last word. So I turned around and just let her say whatever she said. I honestly didn't listen. And I looked at that guy. He looked at me and kind of smiled. And I said, these kids today don't know basic economics. And then he went on and just started talking to me about it. He's like, yep, blah, blah, blah. So we had a nice conversation.
Another liar table there at the table.
So this is what I was getting at. When these kids, no one's going to pay freaking $20 for a shitty sandwich. So now you're going to be laid off from your $25 an hour job, and they're going to be closing down restaurants, and it's all because you didn't pay attention in school.
Well, I mean, this is all downstream of the price of goods, right? It's downstream of cutting our oil production, energy production, the ability to move materials in the market. It's downstream of conceding to like union demands and raising minimum wages, and it's downstream of political policy, imposing an increased minimum wage and not accepting the fact that there's a consequence. If you demand that businesses pay more money, then you're raising the cost of goods. The problem is that the inflation of our economy is exceeding the ability of people to earn income. You know, like you make more than your parents probably ever made, and they could afford more than you ever could because everything was so much cheaper then. The ratio of your ability to spend money versus how much it costs you is crazy. Okay. Well, anyway.
Okay. Sorry, I had to go.
Hello, California. Thanks, California. You guys.
All right. We got some. Since we don't have very long left, you had a Simpsons thing that you put in, and I'd seen this 2 or 3 times. I was like, JJ must have just seen this and thought it was pretty cool. I've seen a bunch of these. It might have been posted there yesterday. I've seen that last week. There's been a bunch of these come out where they do them, and they've done some really, really freaking good ones. And I saw this Simpsons one, and I thought this one's not bad. I wanted to bring this up before you show that. I wanted to bring this up. You know, there's that conspiracy theory that the Simpsons predict everything, that Simpsons have like an 80% crap and whatnot of what they've predicted on the show in the past and whatnot. So let me just show you a screenshot here of some stuff from a Simpsons episode. Okay. Joe Biden, RIP 2024 Joe Biden. That was from a Simpsons episode. 5/5/2024. Now, some of these people say, "Oh, these are fake and these are fake," but it's coming from the internet. So take with it what you will. Look, here's Grandpa Simpson, holding a gun to Putin with him in the background on this little thing here that blows up. It was 5/5/24, so that's next month. So I just wanted to point out some Simpsons conspiracy stuff if you believe any of that crap.
All right, so this is posted by Demon Flying Fox, and Demon Flying Fox has some interesting videos. You should go check out his Twitter account.
I seriously saw this last week, dude. I don't think he made this.
Okay.
If he did, he released it somewhere else last week and just released it here today, because I saw this last week, like last Wednesday.
Share. I keep forgetting how to share shit. Here we go. What if AI made a real version of The Simpsons? Look at this.
The donuts, and the residents are as quirky as they come. Meet Homer Simpson, the lovable but bumbling head of the Simpson family. By his side is Marge, his patient and kind-hearted wife, who holds the family together.
Does not look real.
Their children include Bart, who is always stirring up chaos, while Lisa, the middle child, shines with intelligence and compassion. And there's Maggie, the adorable baby.
It's cute.
From exploring the enigmatic mysteries of the
that looks pretty good. He looks like freaking Mr. Burns.
Navigating the vibrant atmosphere of Moe's Tavern. Every moment
Barney?
is a unique experience.
Barney.
Also part of this vibrant ensemble is
Ned
Flanders, the friendly neighbor
See, he
whose
looks
unwavering
great.
optimism never
Looks
fails
like a
to
serial
brighten the
killer.
day. Followed by
does.
Krusty the Clown, the eccentric entertainer who's always
See,
ready to
that
put
looks
on a
pretty good.
show.
I mean, it's AI,
And
that
let's not
crazy
forget
mouth.
Bob's
Millhouse?
loyal and nerdy best friend.
Yeah.
Explore the wacky world of Springfield,
Pooh.
a town where the laughter is
The
infectious,
eyes of all of
and
these
the
things are
residents are
so
always ready
dead.
to welcome you with open arms.
These are pretty good.
Yeah, it's nuts, right? It's pretty crazy.
I've seen
did
the
some-
Family Guy. I've seen a bunch, man.
Yeah, they have. He's done some Fallout ones. He's done a bunch of like. I think he's in Germany. Demon Flying Fox. He's in Germany. He's done like Lord of the Rings. If it was in Berlin and stuff like that. Some Harry Potter. If it was Berlin. This is live action Pokemon.
こんにちは。
Kill 'em
ポ
all.
ケモンの世界へよ
So, anyway, you guys go check out Demon Flying Fox on Twitter. And while you're on Twitter, I wouldn't mind if you also follow your two dads or me. Prop up my sense of self, and identity,
I'm
value.
looking for my jokes.
All right.
I know I.
I did not buy that book. I found a book over the weekend. 10,000 jokes, Deacon. 10,000 jokes.
Wow.
Published in 1929. The jokes were not funny. Why was the king only 1 foot tall?
I don't know.
Because he was a ruler.
Mm,
And that was real bad. 2 X's for that one. Double
Did
X.
I've been in radio for 30 years. I've had lots of different jobs. Did you know that my first job was actually circumcising elephants?
Oh my God.
Yeah. The wages sucked, but the tips were huge.
Thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Subscribe.
Politicians and talking heads lying
Well, why not?
left and
Let's
right.
do it that way.
You can help us bring facts
You wanna see me
into the
struggle to get
light.
this thing
Don't let
pulled
your
up?
daughter lose her neck, swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teeth. Tune in now to your To That Show. JJ and Deacon, they're the ones that know.
That's us.
Subscribe
me,
quick,
right.
the Squid Monster's on the way. Conspire with us, tomorrow's news today. Oh yeah.
Two Dads is a horrible show. Michael and I don't care for it at all.